For the first time in my life, I noticed what I didn't see. Now, every time I looked at Sid and Hannah, I realized that I could see their faces, but I couldn't see the rest of their bodies, or anything else around them. If I wanted to walk down a flight of stairs, I noticed that I had to keep my eyes glued on my feet and the steps below, or I couldn't see where I was going. When it was dark, I couldn't see anything, not even my hand when I held it up in front of my face. I saw the same things that I saw the day before, but everything had changed. I was legally blind, and it was only a matter of time before it all went dark. In my mind, I saw a blind woman with a white cane slowly feeling her way down the street. She looked unkempt, her hair was going every which way, and her clothes were outdated and didn't match. People were staring at her with pity, and some even wore a look of disgust. Others crossed the street to avoid her. The woman kept inching her way down the block, pushing the white cane in front of her to find the cracks and curbs, listening to the traffic zooming past her and trying to figure out where to step next. When that thought became too painful to follow, my mind drifted back to junior high and the what's worse game I once played with a friend at a sleepover. Okay, choose, my friend had said. Deaf or blind? She acted like it was a tough decision. Are you kidding me? Deaf, I nearly shouted at her. If you're deaf, you can still read lips. You can still get around. Sure, it's a little inconvenient, but it's not like it's the end of the world. If you're blind, you're screwed. Blind people terrified me. Every tap of their white cane or movement of their seeing eye dog reminded me that they'd been robbed. Not just of being able to see the sun rising over the mountains, or watching squirrels climb trees, or taking in the wonder of the ocean, or even to make sure that they were having a good hair day. They had been robbed of their freedom and independence, the two essentials that I felt defined a person. The idea that I was quickly becoming one of them, already was one of them to some degree, was enough to send me over the edge. I snapped back into the present, curled up in the corner of that dark family room. Sid and Hannah were upstairs with John, but I was having a hard time facing them. The idea that I would soon not be able to see them at all was so painful it hurt to look at them. How was I going to take care of them? What if I couldn't see them grow up, watch them dance, admire their artwork, see them grow into teenagers and adults? What if I couldn't see their prom dates or take in the expressions on their faces when they were happy or sad or angry? How would they deal with having a blind mom? Would they be ashamed of me? The more my mind locked in on my future blindness, the more the terror gripped me. What was the point of living in a world that I couldn't see? John and I had just finished remodeling our house. We had gutted the kitchen and living room and had installed maple floors, shaker cabinets, and French doors. It was beautiful, but what did it matter if I couldn't see it? What about every other beautiful thing I would miss out on? What about not being able to see myself? I curled into a ball, rocking myself as I let my mind go to the next unbearable thought. How was I going to work? In 4 weeks, I would be heading to Africa to write about children orphaned by AIDS. I had been hired by a nonprofit organization to put together a collection of stories for a publication that would go out to potential donors. It was a rare dream of an opportunity amid the steady, somewhat dry marketing communications work that now took up most of my time. How could I write the stories I cared about if I couldn't see the people I was writing about? How could I get on a plane to meet with clients if I couldn't see where I was going? In my now ongoing personal terror sessions, I always saved my worst fears for last. My independence and my relationship with John. John and I hadn't had a single discussion about my eyesight since my diagnosis a few days earlier. We just didn't talk about it. I was too upset to bring it up, and maybe he was too. Most of his time was spent logging hours at the law firm where he worked. The girls were both in preschool during the day, giving me 8 hours to huddle in our dark basement thinking about my fate. In the evenings, when I managed to pull myself upstairs to make dinner and go through the motions of being a mom, we just made small talk. Yeah, John definitely wasn't talking about it. But then, what was there to really say? His wife was going blind. He was going to be stuck with a blind person. He was going to have to take care of me and look after me like a little kid. What kind of quality of life was that for either of us? The idea that I could become a burden to John was the final straw. I just couldn't go there. I wouldn't let it happen. That left a scenario that was too difficult for my brain to process. John gone from my life, and me housebound, blind, and alone.